Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Um, Still struggling trying to get videos out. Lots of footage, but no edited videos putting out. Um, recently I went to Trinidad. As a matter of fact, last weekend, myself, Jerome Atkins, and Gavin Granderson went to Trinidad. Lime RC Club had the last race for the year last weekend, so we journeyed to Barrackpore as usual to partake in the event, to compete in the event, right? Gavin and Jerome competed in GT, Nitro GT, and 110 electric, but I only competed in 110 electric only. 110 electric. As I said before, since the struggles and the passing of my wife, been a little low. So the enthusiasm and zeal and really pick up back as yet. But today I thought I would just show you guys, the car that I ran on the weekend in Trinidad last weekend, 110 electric, and just give you a basic breakdown as to how these cars operate. And after the race now, I have to get it ready for next year's season of racing. In Trinidad, we have no track in Tobago presently. In 2016 and 2018, we hosted two nice events. Lots of foreigners came from all over, Jamaica, Curacao, America. Had two nice sessions, but we don't have a track in Tobago. We used to use the Dwight York Stadium car park, but that is terrible now, really rough. Can't run these size cars there. GT might, good, but it shreds the tires. You have to buy tires very often. So we have no place to really race our cars in Tobago at the moment. I don't know when we will get a dedicated track or a proper car park that we could use, good surface to run these cars. So for the time being, we journey to Trinidad ever so often and race there. So this is my 110 X-Ray X4 2022 model, right? I think there's a 2026 out, but can't afford that just yet. So basically these cars are four-wheel drive cars, right? You see here we have a belt from the back differential to the spur gear, right? And a belt from the front differential to the spur gear. So that is what drives the four wheels simultaneously, right? But the front differential is solid. It's a solid spool. That's solid meaning that the two tires rotate the same way, all the time, whether back or forward. But the rear is differential, so they can go in different direction, right? One can go right, one can go left here. It's a differential diff in the back, but the front is solid, a solid one. So that's basically it. There's an electronic speed control. This here is the electronic speed control that controls your throttle, speed up and slow down, braking and all that stuff. This is the motor. It's a 13.5 turn motor for this class that we race here. All right, a 13.5 motor with the pinion gear here and the spur gear here that drives the car. That's basically what happens with the car. There's a bank of capacitors here. Bank of capacitors. And this is the battery. Right now, this battery is a 5,000 milliamp hour lipo polymer battery. Lipopolymer, I can't even get too technical with that because that would take me whole evening to try to explain. In layman terms, these batteries would give you full power, full draw for like 5-6 minutes before they actually start dying. With the NiCad batteries, this is my layman term, you know, feel free to correct me in the comments if anybody think I'm going wrong. NiCad battery, like the normal batteries you will have in your cell phone, or not your cell phone, like your normal batteries, normal NIMH NiCad batteries you'd have in your remote control and stuff like that for your television. Those would die. You know, every time you use them, they get a little more degraded and die, you know, until they are completely dead. But with these batteries here, the technology in these batteries, you're going to get full power for the 5 minutes or so that you're racing before they die off. So there's no degrading of the power during the run, during the race. You'll get the race is 5 minutes, you'll get your continuous power up to that time with the battery. That is the basic, I mean, I could be wrong, but that is the basic meaning of these lipopolymer batteries. Not meaning, but the technology behind them on these batteries. So that is what happens. That is what takes place with the cars, right? We have the servo that turns the wheel for steering. Right, all these are just electronic stuff. These are transponder that counts the laps when you're racing, and you have your receiver that receives and sends all the signal around the car. Right? So basically that's the car. These are battery connectors. Take those out, and remove the battery from the car. Put that one side. So this is basically what we racing. What I raced last weekend. You can see, you know, you have all the shocks. Oh, I'm not putting this thing properly in the frame. So like you have all the shocks, you know, shocks and stuff like that. That is what, you know, dampens when you're driving. So all these shocks, and you have the differential here as well. These things carry fluid in them, differential oils and stuff that, you know, you will change up when the season is over. You will change them up and freshen up for the new year. So my thing now is to scrap out this car, the belts as well. Belts get chewed up. Stone and stuff on the track will chew up these belts, lick up the teeth and that kind of stuff. So the belts would need changing for the next season if they emboss when you're racing. Right? I don't know if you've seen that there, but you have a chip on this one here. So belt going, so the belt needs changing. So my work today is to change out these belts, take off the shocks on them, get out the diff. I don't think I'll finish all this today, but that is the plan, what I need to do to get this car ready for another race day. Well, the next race season, right? So let me start doing some disassembly. As I said, I don't know if I'll get through the whole thing with this video, but I'm going to start. All right? So first thing I want to do is remove the shocks. Remove the shocks from their location. All right? Thinking, well, if I could just, no, if I could unscrew this is a completely bigger, oh boy. Let me see. This is carrying a really big, a really big Allen key, boy. Whoa. Yep. So basically, I have to get off the shocks first. Free up the suspension. The cars are really simple. The construction is simple and they build them really, really easy to work on now. Long ago, you had to take off all this to get the belts out. Now you could get the belt out pretty easily. Without, you know, causing an arm and a leg or taking an arm and a leg out of your day to get it done. All right. And basically, this is what has to happen. Well, these cars are just like your real car, you know. Just like your real car. All right. You see, I will just pop them off, pop the heads off. All right. One shock. I don't know if you could see it clearly there, but I would just, instead of unscrewing this, I would just pop it off. All right. 2 shocks off. All right. Just pop the shock off. Now all these shocks are the same, eh? So don't feel you're gonna misplace them and put them back in the wrong spot. All the shocks are the same length, same size, same everything. I think this shock was the bad shock. Right? These shocks damp, just like your real car. They carry liquid in the shock housing there. I'm gonna change all those liquids. All right. I don't know if you could. Can you hear that? I don't know if you could hear that. Pick by the mic. This shock bus, it have no fluid in it. So this really needs attention. Probably the bladder might have to change. The little plastic part inside might need changing. All right? This one is okay. And this one is okay. But I'll service all of them. In that I'll have to change all the fluid, clean them up, and, you know, get them ready for the next season coming up. All right? So those are the 4 shocks. Yeah. Easy like that. 4 shocks off. And off. And ready to go again, right? So next I will take off these arms. These top arms here. Top deck. To get out the belts. To try to get off the belts. I need some speed. For speed I will use. What's going on here, buddy? What's going on here? Okay. Alright. Speed I would use. I'll use this. Get all the screws out quickly. And take off the top deck. But normally all the car really needs, once you have not broken any parts, basically all you would need really is to change the oils in the differential, oils in the shocks, you know, to freshen up things now. If nothing is damaged, if you ain't break arm or, you know, break something. So this is the first pass of the top deck come out. Right? Oh. I want to go and take a little fly this afternoon. I haven't flown those helicopters in a while, so I really would like to go and take a fly this afternoon. But we need more people in the hobby, man. We're not getting enough people coming out. And this is the other part of the deck. The top deck, right? These are the other parts. Other screws over here. Oh, okay. Let's try to put all my screws one side so I don't mix them up and lost them. Put all the screws where I know I could get them. Right? Right, so that's the top deck. That's off. Now, to get the belt out, right, I have to take off this gear here. The spur gear, right? If you notice, the spur gear is bigger than the pinion, right? And that has to do with gear ratios. Too technical to get into. I myself I understand it too much, but too technical to get into now. But if you notice, the pinion is smaller and the spur gear is bigger, and that has to do with the gear ratio. And you know, if you have a bigger pinion, if you have a bigger spur gear, a smaller pinion, it might get more speed, but then it might get more heat, and so you have to kind of strike a balance with the gear ratio of the cars, and that has to do as well with the gear ratio in the diff. But they normally give you a range which you could buy the spur gear and the pinion between that range to maintain, you know, cool running but some top end speed, right? Because depending on your gearing, you could either get top end speed or speed out of the hole if you're drag racing, that kind of thing. But that's why you have a smaller pinion, a bigger spur gear. And it could be a smaller spur gear and a bigger pinion too, you know. Depends on what you up to, right? So I have to take off this from here to get the belts loose, right? To take off this from here, so right, so spur gear is off, right? You have to remember where all these little things go in, trust me. And there's one belt here, right? This is the other piece of the gear that the belt's running on. Can't remember the name right now, but I'll get that information for you a little later though. Right? So this is how the gear does be. This is the gear with the pinion, and the belt now is running on this gear in the back here. To turn the whole thing, that turns the wheels. Alright? So these are the belts here now. Back belt, front belt. Two belts. Excuse the sun coming through the window. I can't do anything about that. I just need to make a video. There's not no cinematic anything. Just making a video. Right? So you have the pinion here. I'm not going to take that. I don't need to take that out to get the belts out. So I'm not going to fight with that today. Right? Not going to fight up with that today. What I will do, I have to take off these top arms now. Well, because I put this capacitor here, I would have to unstick this capacitor. That's just stick down with 2-side tape. So that is not a problem. Right? Wonder if I have size to fit these. Should. I have to take off these arms. Right? These arms will have to come off. These arms will have to come off. Let me put these screws on another side. That is what I do to maintain, you know, to know where my stuff is, you know. I place them in different places, right? So I don't get them mixed up. Right? I don't get them mixed up. And I remember where every screw going. Every one. I just remember where you're going. That system has never failed me yet. So I know these screws here are for the back, right? Place them where I know I will remember them. Although they are all the same sizes, but I know exactly where they would go. Ooh. Sometimes when you have to do this here, it's really tired out your hand. But there's some gyroscopic screwdrivers that, you know, you just turn your hand and it turns whichever direction. I want to buy one of those, but I didn't see the money to buy it yet. So I'm using the low tech, right? It's just well, it rotary spinning. You spin it left or right to turn. Instead of you just using your hand to turn that, tire out your hand. So I use this rotary powered one to ease up my fingers, right? So boom. So I have the differentials exposed now. The arms are off. I can now, the rear one would be very, very simple. I can now, I don't know if you could see it in a boy. I don't know if you could see now, belts are exposed, differential is exposed. And next thing you have to remember, now there are some eccentric circles here that you have to remember the direction that they are. Some just be up, some just be down, depending on what kind of driving you're doing, your kind of setup you have. Depends on the setup. So you have to look and make sure you remember where all these things are before you pull them out. Now let me get out this. That's all right. Let me get out this capacitor. Let me get out this capacitor here before anything else. So if I take this out, the belt wouldn't come out. So I have to get out. I just put the capacitor here to save space and to look neat. You know, that is how it is way to look a certain kind of way. Alright, so see, so I don't know if you could note, if you're noticing now the belt, it's just to lift out the diff and I could get the belt out, right? As I said, these eccentric circles here, you gotta remember where they are in the equation. Right? Trying to see, but boy, catching my skin to see the location where they are. Catching my skin to see where they are right now. I'm trying to see. Let's use my phone light. Let's see if I could see where they are. So that when I'm putting them back in, I know where they are going. So that one in front there, so, and this one in the back here is where this one is, boy. I'm not seeing this thing good at all. I'm not seeing it good at all. I guess when I pull them up, I'll see. But I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when I do get them out. But basically, I just pull them up. And you see? That's the belt off. One belt off there. I don't know if you notice. If you look at this, right? You can see where, I don't know, not focusing, but these are, I don't know if you're seeing this. There's a notch on it. See that notch? that fits into a groove on the chassis there. So that is what gives it the up or down. Because this is shaped. See, one side is bigger than the other side. So that lifts up. It either lifts the diff up or it drops it down, depending on where you put these eccentric circles. I know you're seeing the slots there. These slots on this part would fit into a groove on the chassis here, on this holder, and now that would give you whether the diff would be up or down, and that has to do with handling, right? I hope that makes sense, I hope what I'm saying makes sense. So all these things here, take them off. So you expose the bearings. So you take off all these things to clean and oil up and all that kind of stuff, right? So this is your rear differential. So you see how I was saying about the differential? It turns independent of each other. It's a rear differential. So the back wheels could spin at different speeds to each other. Whereas the front one is a solid spool. This is solid. This just spins. Car spin independent. Both sides spin the same speed at the same time. Right? And all that has to do with handling as well and setup. I've seen cars where men put differential in front as well. I've never done it. Right? So whatever works for you, everybody have different techniques to do stuff. Right? Now, to get this front one out, I still have to take off. I'm watching here. I have to take off this steering buckle here. I'll have to take off the steering buckle. Take off the steering buckle here. Free up so that the belt would pass out, I still have to take off something else. Something else has to come off here. I ain't do this in a while, so bear with me. And if I should take off the bottom, if I lift that up, I will still have to do that. So might as well just take off what Jason? So I'll take off this here. Take out this one. Right. Take out that. Take out this one. Right. So if I take out that, take out one of these here. Boom. Skin up the whole thing there. So where is the screws? I always make sure I have all my screws. I don't want no screw loosening from anything. So these screws here, these two, I'll put them separate again so I remember where those two came from. Right? So this now is exposed. So you see the whole diff is exposed. So I can now take out this one, but I'm not seeing the eccentric circle as clear as I was seeing it in the other one. Right? Not seeing it as clear as I was seeing it in the other one. Not. Oh, look it down here. Seeing it down here, right? So I'm seeing it in a groove down here. So, okay, cool. So, I don't know if you could see it, but it's down here. Right? See down here. So these are things that you have to remember for your setup. Now I would go back in the book, in the manual, and see the setup. But sometimes you make different setup than go in the manual and thing. But I'm just trying to remember the setup. But the car works well here. I don't want to change the setup. The car works well at this position for the track down at Barrack 4. So I'm going to leave it right there. So, boom, pull out the differential, and the other belt is out. Right? The other belt is out. So, simple as that. Back differential out with the rear belt. Alright? Front differential out with the front belt. Easy as that. Easy as that. Differential out, belts out, shocks and stuff out. Just to start to clean up now. Now normally I would take off all this electronics and clean up, but I don't think it's necessary, right? We have the ESC here, we have the motor, we have the fan that cools the ESC, the motor. Fan cools the motor. I have a shout here that directs the airflow straight to the motor. I have the receiver, I have the servo that controls the steering, right and left, and I have the transponder here that counts the laps while we're racing. But I don't think I need to take off all of that. They're pretty firm and good. I'll just check the teeth on the pinion gear, this teeth, to make sure that all the teeth are okay. I mean, they'll get some little damage from stone and stuff like that, but just to make sure that they're okay and it could run again for next season. Well, if it's damaged, I will change it, right? But I don't think I have to take off the motor, right? The teeth on the spur, once the teeth on them good, I might be able to use it back. If not, I'll have to change it. But I'll go through all those things. Normally, for a new season, just change everything, just, no problems on a race day. I just want to run. So sometimes I just change everything. But basically, that is what I do to disassemble the car for cleaning. Now that the shocks are off, I would rebuild the shocks, put new fluid in. Make sure that they are good. I would change the belts. I would open the differential. There are screws there. I would open the screws, and the oil would go inside of this. This separates in two pieces, and I would put oil inside of this, and that is what determines the tension at which the differential, spins. The weight of the oil. If I could show you here, this is what oil is this, boy? This is 500 weight oil. This is for the diff, right? I think this is for the differential, right? So you have oils. You have different oils that we use, right? There are different oils. This is diff oil 3K. This is for the shock here. The 3000 is for the 3000K differential oil. This is for the rear diff, right? And the 500 weight shock oil, this is shock oil, is for the shocks. So this, when I clear out these, I'll put in fresh shock oil in these shocks, and I'll check the bladders and see what might be damaged as well, because I want that making a noise, something going on with that. And the diff oil is this one, 3000K. I'll be putting in the rear diff. So I'll open the diff, clean it out, change up whatever seals have to change, and fill it back with fluid and change the belts. I don't know if you can see the belts are pretty, not too bad, but they chew up from stone getting between, stone getting between the, I think I've seen one here. See that? Oh Lord, out of frame. I don't know if you can see that there. At this position here. I don't know if you could see that there is stone and stuff that would damage the belts. Right, so more than likely I would change the belts out. You could keep them as spare just in case anything. They might need one when they do have any, And this doesn't look too bad. But as I said before, when you scrap your car to service, you better change, serviceable parts, change out everything that you want to change out and stuff like that. So that for the new season, you're fresh. Everything fresh now. Right? So that is what is happening now, right? So I would from this point, I would have to take apart the shocks, take apart the differential, change the belts, freshen up the shocks, clean up the car, right? As it stands now, I'll take the car outside and use compressed air and clean out all those parts, get all the stuff out of it and stuff like that, and get it ready for another race season next year. So I think that's where I'll stop this video for now. When I'm putting the car back together, I will try to get some video of me changing the oils and stuff like that, so you could see exactly how I change the oils and service the shocks and service the differential and stuff like that. But for now, for today, it's just about disassembling the car for cleaning and showing you guys how I do it, so you would have an appreciation for the hobby. I really enjoy this hobby though. As I said, today I want to go and fly, so I'm just going to leave this here like this for today and continue this another day. Right, I'll go now, get my helicopter, charge up my batteries, and head to the flying field a little later with the guys and hang out a bit, enjoy the Sunday afternoon, and unwind for work tomorrow. Right? So thanks again for watching, and thank you guys for being with me. I haven't been consistent putting videos out, but as I said before, you know, I have my challenges right now, so I'm trying my best. Lots of footage, plenty footage to edit, but just not in the mood to edit. Even the last race we did last weekend in Trinidad, I have plenty of footage of that as well, but just lazy or don't have the zeal to edit and put them out, right? So that's it. So this again is the X-Ray X4 2022 model, 110 electric touring car, and just a little breakdown as to how I disassemble for cleaning after the season, or if you have a major crash or a breakdown or a belt bust, this is what you need to do to change stuff like that. But this is the end of the season, so I'll be changing out shock fluid, differential fluid, change out the belts, service whatever needs to service. All these little parts here, some might need changing. These little clips and washers and all the other little stuff. Just generally clean the car up for the new season that's about to come in January. Right? As I said again, the sun coming through the window, so I just don't have the patience for all the cinematic stuff right now. Right? Hopefully I'll get the place a little better, so you can see a little better and do stuff a little better. So thanks again for viewing, and hope you guys enjoyed the little video, and catch you in another video when I'm putting the car back together. Right? Thanks again. Continue to subscribe, comment on the videos, like the video, share the videos to whoever. Right? And I'll see you guys in the next video.